Have you ever been embarrassed because of your period or felt embarrassed because of your period? Okay, if that is you, then keep tuned. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Talk On Soon. It's me, Ogechi. Welcome. So for this video, we're continuing on giving advice on how to look after ourselves. As females, I'm really targeting this towards young females during your period. I know many people have been taught in school on how to look after themselves when they're on their period nowadays, but many still have not been taught about this. So I just thought it would be good to give advice based on the things I have known or have been taught as well, and things that I have come to understand and know myself. So without further ado, let's begin. So let's start with period pants first. So for you to be able to escape having to embarrass yourself because of period or period embarrassing you, I don't know, have you ever been embarrassed before? I have. So like I have come to overcome that, but I'll come to that yet. But so if you want to escape from being embarrassed because of your period, listen up. So when you're choosing your underwears, it's important that you choose normal underwears that you wear. Obviously, if you got your sexy underwears that you wear, that's still cool. And then you must also choose your period underwears. So I think it's important to allocate some sort of finance for period underwears. Now, it doesn't have to be ugly looking, as some period underwears looks. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. It have to be really comfortable and also fit you firmly. Okay, your period pants should not be saggy. It should fit you firmly. It's important to buy full brief, I'll advise, but even if you don't want to use full brief pants or underwear to say, then get yourself your normal underwear, but make sure that it fits you properly. Okay, so the better fit, the better control you have, then there also becomes a less shifting that goes under there, if that makes sense, or friction that goes under there. So that's one thing you must do, is make sure you choose your type of underwears. You can even wear your own normal underwears. Just definitely do not wear tongs when you're on your period. Like, I think common sense says that, but I'm just saying. So that's just choose your period underwear. Another one is to when it comes to washing the underwear itself, how do you wash it? Okay, you need to know, how do you wash your period underwear? Do you throw in the wash with your clothes and everything else, or do you wash it separately? So the first thing that you must do is wash your period underwears separately. Do not wash it with any other underwears, and do not wash it with your clothes. That's for sure. Okay, so in this, I'm going to tell you somehow you can do it yourself. So first of all, if you have your period underwear, wash it with soap on its own. I advocate that you wash it in your bathroom sink, okay, and soak it there. If you don't want to use a bathroom sink, then get yourself a little bowl that is designated for bathroom or bucket, and then throw your period underwears there. If you have multiples, throw them there, and then soak them in hot water to release the blood that is there. Pour out that water in your bathroom sink or your toilet, and then soak it again. This time, when you're soaking it the second time, add detergents, things like Ariel, Bold, Persil, washing detergents, okay, or washing liquid if you use liquid ones. And that, when I mean washing liquid, I don't mean the one that you use for kitchen. I'm talking about the ones you use for your laundry. And then soak it. Give it about 10 to 15 minutes, if not half an hour. You will notice the difference that the stain, especially if you have period stain, like blood stain your period pants, it should be lifted by then, because those things are designed to lift up dirt. So it should be able to lift up those dirts and have your underwear looking almost as new. If you're wearing a white underwear whilst you're on your period and you get stained, I'll advocate you do the same thing. But if the stain is not coming out, then use bleach and pour the bleach with the detergent in the water, so that it revives it, or gives it that extra shine and brings it back to life. That's the tip that I'll give you. Now, when it comes to feeling embarrassed for your period, listen, actually, before I get to that, did you know the Bible tells us advice on what to do during our period? Yes, actually, there is a lot of practical tips in the Bible that people do not know, or know but don't say that it comes from the Bible. So the advice that is given is that when you're on your period, do not have intercourse with anyone. Don't sleep with a man or anyone. Don't do anything to do with intimacy in that area. Okay? And he says that it's unclean. Now, when he says it's guys, like, your blood is flowing. Why would you want someone to be going down there? Anyways, let's move on quickly. Let's move on quickly. So that's the advice from the Bible. I didn't say it. If you want, I can get you the place it comes from, and it's actually from the book of Leviticus, and I will write it on the screen just in case you want to read a little bit about where it says do not sleep with someone whilst they're on your period, because you are unclean and then they will become unclean. Now, that doesn't mean that you should feel shame. That's not what the Bible is promoting. It's just saying that obviously if things are coming out there, it's like, it's definitely not the cleanest time of your of your month under there. So it's just a practical tip, really. So moving on swiftly. Moving on swiftly, we are looking at then feeling embarrassed. How do you deal with feeling embarrassed when you get stained unknowingly, like when you're walking about and you have blood on your clothes, or you sit up from somewhere and blood is smiling at you there? Now, I've been embarrassed in that way before, but hey, life goes on. So I speak to some of my female friends about it, and then they're like, forget that, like, you should never feel embarrassed about it. And one of the good things liked growing up in going to all girls school was that was never an issue. So I never had to feel embarrassed by anything of it growing up, because I went to all girls school, so we kind of know each other and you support each other, and if you see something you kind of give the other person a nudge. So that was kind of how I grew up, so I never felt embarrassed about it. So I would really encourage that you speak to other females about it, on how they deal with those kind of incidents, and how one of my people that I know, we were speaking about it, especially we were speaking about that, and also buying like pads. Do you feel embarrassed buying pads from the shops and then seeing everyone else see you, especially if you have someone that you like, then come into that shop as well? Okay, so the advice was, forget that. First of all, their parents saw it before they gave birth to them. If your parents didn't see it, they wouldn't have been out in the world. Okay. Secondly, it's like, if you like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about it, because what, their mom sees it, their sister sees it. If they don't have sister, they have a mother. Okay. If they don't have a mother, they probably have a girlfriend. If they don't have a girlfriend, they have a wife. If they don't have a wife, they have someone that they know that sees. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. So as a young female, do not feel embarrassed because of your period. In fact, if it comes, you're like, hey, mother nature, what is wrong with you? Just continue like that. Okay, so don't feel embarrassed because of that. So that's another advice I would give you when it comes to seeing your period. Another thing, obviously, is to try and keep a note on when your period comes, so that you are better prepared. But sometimes like it doesn't tell you. So, and if you haven't clocked it, that's okay, but always have a pad ready in your bag. So there is discreet ways you can keep your pad. You can fold it up in a little paper, or either white or brown paper, or in an envelope and keep it in your bag. Or you can use one of these tin ones that they have at the back of Always. Or you can buy from the shops. I'll put the picture, and use it to just store up your pads, just in case Mother Nature decides to visit when it wasn't invited. So always have your pad with you. And another thing is when you're on your period, when you're on your period, make sure that you choose the right pad for yourself. Okay, choose the right pad. Know how your period comes, when it becomes heavy and when it goes lighter. So I'll always advise, choose, if you can afford it, at least 3 different types of pads. Okay, so you've got your normal pad, and then you've got the small ones that can fit neatly if you're wearing things like trousers or things that could be see-through. So wear your normal one, the small ones, get the normal ones, and then the good night ones, which is the long ones. Okay, so get ones that also absorbs well. I find that Bodyform is the best compared to Always, but people can always disagree because everyone has the one that they found to be good. But I will totally recommend Bodyform, as I use it anyway. So I recommend Bodyform because it absorbs better and you actually do not have to worry so much about it. Okay, when I've tried to switch up, that's when I actually got embarrassed. I tried to switch up to a new pad that I wasn't familiar with on how it works, and then that's where the mishap happened. So it's important that you know when what type of pads works for you, and if you find a pad that works for you, then stick to it. Obviously make sure you use, if you're a heavy duty kind of person that your blood flows heavily, then use heavy duty kind of pad. There's no need in using the tiny ones or the thin ones, as they will not catch anything. Okay, so get yourself period pad. I can also add that always make sure you change up your pad at least every 2 to 3 hours, depending on how heavy you flow. Okay, so change up your pad. You know yourself, so try and do so. Okay, another tip I will give is also, if you are experiencing period pains a lot, oh gosh, I remember some girls in our class could not bear the period pain. So if you're experiencing a lot of period pain, take time out. It doesn't matter what it is, take time out. Drink some lukewarm water to warm water. That should help subside the pain. Give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes. It should really help to subside the pain. So warm water always helps. So that's another hack for period pain. And then if it's too much, lay on your back. Don't try and coil up because that makes it much more painful. So lay on your back and just wait. If you can't lay on your back, sit however that is comfortable for you, to be honest. But I'll say don't try and coil up on your stomach because that only adds to it. Just lay in a way that makes your stomach goes flat or straight. So, but drink warm water. That really does help in subsiding the pain. If it's too much, you can always take paracetamol if you wish to. All right. Get yourself good pants. Don't feel ashamed of your period, even if you get stains. Don't feel ashamed of it. Just learn how to manage it better. If you find a pad that works for you, stick to it. Switching up can cause mishaps. And also try not to have intimacy or sexual intercourse because at that time your body is vulnerable and open to anything disease related. It becomes more susceptible. I don't know, is that the right word? Vulnerable to any form of disease going through there, because your body is flowing out things that it doesn't want anymore, kind of thing. So that's my advice, and I hope this advice helps. If it does help, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.